late here?
Definitely, I would have to agree with that. Right now, like you said, they're getting hot at the right time. You're going into December, January football, and they're inclining. They're playing better. The defense is playing better. I believe they're third in sacks now. They're getting pressure on guys. They're able to stop the run. That's something you're going to have to be able to do. In December football when you're playing in bad weather. With us back in 2005, from December into January, we went 4-1. Our last loss was, I think, to Cincinnati. But from there on, the defense started playing unbelievable. I think we only gave up an average of about 237 yards a game, something like that. And the offense was clicking on all cylinders, especially with the run game. Ben was doing a lot more, handing the ball off where we had play action. So he was making a lot of his plays in the play action game, or scrambling and, making it that way. So right now, the big thing that they have, Tom is playing. He's playing well. I mean, through the month of December, he has 8 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. His passer rating is up. I would totally have to agree with him.
Oh, man, that's so disappointing. I thought James Harrison was going to come on here and talk about the importance of a pass rush, talk about how, you got to recognize who they've been playing. And
I understand that they don't have the pass rush. They're coming along. Like, I can understand it was against Detroit. He did this, he did that. But it doesn't matter. They're still number 3 in sacks right now. They're doing what's necessary, and they're improving. So
no, hold on. I'm not talking about. Sorry, James. I don't mean the Bucs don't have a pass rush. I meant how they deal with teams who do have a pass rush. I think the Bucs defense is excellent. I think their wide receivers are out of this world. I think their offensive line, when healthy, is really good. I think they have an outstanding coaching staff. The running back room, when healthy, has been really good. There's one position I'm leaving out. I'm trying to remember. It's the safety. It's the guard. Oh, it's the quarterback. I got questions about the quarterback. And I think they're very fair because, folks say to me that if I wasn't doing this, I'd be a lawyer. And that, because of the way I argue, which shows some self-awareness for a moment, it's why it can be so frustrating to work with me. I get that. I understand what Brandon, Wilds, and Jenna have to deal with on a daily basis. I can be a pain in the ass. I get that. But if I were a lawyer...
Just going to leave it like that?
This is what I would do. This is what I would do. I would say I would like the case against the Bucs' contenders. And I would say Exhibit A. And they would show the court this. And it would be their record against playoff teams. And I would say, oh, well, in the playoffs, you got to beat playoff teams. And they don't. In fact, they lose to them. And then I would say, Your Honor, may I present Exhibit B? And it's Tom Brady if there's a pass rush. And it's like, oh, he's terrible. And I would say, if it pleases the court, in the playoffs, you got to play playoff teams, and most of them have pass rush. I rest my case. And that'd be it. And that really is it, Brandon. I don't think they can beat good teams, Nick. And in the playoffs, you play good teams. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. This is why we asked you the question, James, and this is why, I always go back and look for that 2005 Steelers team, because every year there's always one team that comes out of nowhere. You're like, man, I never would have thought the Tennessee Titans would be that team. I never would have thought the Buffalo Bills would be a team that we should be scared of, right? So when I look at this year, there was 2 teams to me I was like could potentially be that 2005 Pittsburgh Steelers team. It was the Tampa Bay Bucs, and it was the Las Vegas Raiders. Las Vegas Raiders implode, so now I'm left with them. September, October doesn't really matter. Now we get into the late days in November, early days in December, going into January. I want to see if these guys can right their wrongs. I want to see if these teams can fix those things. So, Nick, you have a great point, right? Every time we talk about Tom Brady, going back to the New England days, it's always he can't handle the pass rush. We go back to them against the Giants. It's the same thing. What happened? Those front four, OC and Michael Strahan, they demolished Tom Brady, right? So it's the same thing. But what happened? He went on to win multiple Super Bowls after that. So what I am banking on is that this defense will continue to play lights out and get better and fix some of their issues that they do have. And then on the offensive side, the identity, the continuity issues, the chemistry that we've been talking about all year, they will work on that. They will fix that. I would have to believe that there are meetings right now talking about about pass pro against those teams. Because, Nick, you are right. When they play against a team that can rush 4 and get to Tom Brady, it can get ugly. But that's Bruce Arians and Tom Brady's job to make those adjustments.
Listen, man, stop that. Any team that can rush 4 to the quarterback is going to be a problem.
Thank you.
This is why we need you more on the show. We need a defensive guy.
It's going to be a problem. So stop all that. Like, it is a legit chance that they have with the similarity between how we did it in 2005 and how they're progressing right now in 2020. It's a legit chance. I think you might be a Brady hater. I'm not a Brady lover. I'm not a hater, but I do like him a little bit more than I did before.
Excuse me.
Okay, all right. So listen. So of course, listen. No quarterback's ever been as good, not under pressure. I'm sorry, under pressure as they are under pressure. Everyone's numbers drop. Even Brady at his apex, his numbers dropped when pressured. We know that. But what we have seen, and I don't have the chart to show you right now, is his when-pressured quarterback rating over the last 4 years has gone from like mid-90s to mid-70s to in the 60s last year to 54 this year. So even by Brady's standards, that's where the weakness has come. Because clearly, when you look at those numbers in a clean pocket, they're as good as they've ever been. So why aren't his overall numbers as good as they've ever been? It's because of that. But here is the problem, I would say, to James about the 05 Steelers comp. It's the same problem in the NBA when we're like, hey, who's going to be the 04 Pistons? And the answer is typically nobody. That's why we keep going back to the 04 Pistons. Who's going to be the 05 Steelers? Well, the reason we're not like, oh, it's the 2013 Vikings is because nobody's been able to do it since then. It's a hard path. It's been 15 years since someone's been able to do it. And what the Steelers didn't do that this Bucs team did,
no,
James,
that's not true.
is get a bye.
Reminiscent,
go ahead.
Reminiscent of the 2005.
Reminiscent. That's fair. You're right. That is the word.
Let's go to 2000. Yeah, that's right. 2012, the Baltimore Ravens, I believe they won the Super Bowl. Was it 2012, 2013?
Yeah,
we were sitting in the same position. They fired their offensive coordinator, made a change, and they took off and won the Super Bowl, right? So there are teams that got it done. I'm talking about, I'm not looking at quarterbacks comparing offense to defenses. I'm talking about the team to get hot at the right time. Yeah, it is hard to do it, but there are teams that's like, man, look, this team right here came out of nowhere.
My question would be, and I'll throw it to Wilds, my question would be, did they get hot at the right time, or did they have a bye week followed by the 4 easiest opponents on their schedule?
Yeah.
Right. Is it just an order of operations question as opposed to they're just playing their best football of the year?
It's a legitimate point. It's a good point.
But isn't that part of it where, like, look, the Lions didn't have any of their coaches and Matthew Stafford went down, so Brady was able to play like fantasy football for the first half and run up the score. At the same time, they're going to be playing the NFC East here. So is Brady supposed to be scared of a Cowboys team? Are you supposed to be scared of Washington? Are you supposed to be scared of Joe Judge and the Giants? I'm saying it's like the bye is the #1 thing you want to be, and the second thing you want is to be Tom Brady and the Bucs and play a team that everyone laughed at the entire year.